Good morning, traders. Welcome to this week's Elliott Wave Forex and Cryptocurrency Market Analysis webinar. I hope you all had a wonderful week and you have benefited from last week's analysis. Right, let's get started with this week's analysis. I'm going to start by looking at oil and talking about the fundamental. That's the biggest question that a lot of people have. I'm not going to have a speech about what fundamentals do, the effect of fundamentals on the trading market, on the forex, on the technical charts. I'm just going to show you what we analyzed a couple of weeks back on oil. Now, this referring specifically to the attacks on the Saudi oil fields, the recent news that after they happened, everybody expected that the oil price was going to skyrocket. So I'm going to show you what we forecasted oil to do from a couple of weeks back to what has happened currently. All right, so but before we get started with that, there will be timestamps on the video as there is every single week. If you go to my channel, on the description of each and every video, you will find that all the pairs that we are going to discuss this morning are time-stamped. So that means you can go specifically to the pairs that you're only interested in. You don't have to watch the whole video. They will be available a couple of hours after the video has been uploaded because they need to be uploaded and edited. All right, so thank you, Mike. He has been doing this for us. Thank you for all the hard work. It takes a lot of time because he has to watch the whole video again and mark every pair. All right, so we have just concluded our course, our September course. As I mentioned last week, our next course is only going to be in November, and that is the last course of the year. So that is the last opportunity to join us for a course. If you are interested in that, you can contact me as per my details under the description of the videos. You'll find my email address there, as well as my mobile number, which you can use via Telegram or WhatsApp. You'll find my TradingView link as well as my Telegram channel there. So the Telegram channel is I only use it to post the live webinar links. So if you want to attend this live, you can go to the Telegram channel. You will find the link there posted a couple of hours before the webinar starts. You can also find the link on my profile on Facebook. Let's see here if I can find it quickly. On my profile on Facebook, I think the link is on my channel as well, so you can go and find me there. Let's see. So you'll find the link, the live webinar link. About 3 to 4 hours before the webinar starts, I post the link. But usually the preference is that we are always going to start at 7 a.m. GMT. Right, so that's where you're going to find the link for the live webinar session, which we host via Zoom. All right, so that is that. On that, we can get started with market analysis. So as I said, the last course is going to be on the 11th to the 22nd of November. But if you want to get started before the time, the course is recorded on videos. So the moment you join, you will receive a full recorded course as well as access to our Slack group. We're going to talk a bit about our Slack group and how it works when we go through the trade recap. You will see how that works. We've got over 430 traders in our trading room, all looking at the charts with the same eyes, because we look at the charts with the same rules and guidelines. Right, so let's do a bit of a trade recap on oil. So what you see here is a video that I did on the 29th of July. Actually, it would have been the 28th because the 29th is a Monday to Friday. So on the 29th of July, I did a video on oil forecasting this current down move. I'm going to show you on the live chart what this move was. This was the move that I forecasted. And this is what the oil chart looked like at the time. Let's go to the oil chart. I usually go to the West Texas one. Let's have a look. Let's switch everything off here. Now what you see there on the current video that I have just opened, I'm going to go to the 4-hour. What you're seeing there on the video, let's just check the date again. What you see on this video, this was 28 July. Let's go back to the chart. 28 July, you'll see that I was forecasting that we are going to have a 3-wave correction here, and we're going to have the move to the downside, and we are going to have a move back up here. We're going to have a move back up here. Okay, so that move then happened. We got the drop from here. This was the forecast. You see me showing you that there's a 3-wave structure there. This 3-wave structure is the one that you see on that video on the 28th of July, and that we're expecting this to drop back to this level, which has dropped exactly as we forecasted, and we expected also that this was going to push back higher. Okay, now that is exactly how that played out. You can go and watch that video yourself. Just go and click on the on oil analysis on the 28th of July. You'll see that this is the move. This was the forecast, and we expected that this was going to drop like this, and that's the move that has happened. And then we also expected that to go up like that. Now, in August as well, on oil, we had a setup. So this was actually much earlier in August. So the forecast was that we are going to have a drop. We're going to have, that's the drop that we spoke about here. That's the drop you see on the video, which dropped here. And we focused that we're going to have a move up here and a corrective structure here, and a move up higher and a move down here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these moves have played out. 6th one has played out now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 moves forecasted. Granted, the last week we were a bit skeptical when this was starting to look corrective for downside, but let's see how this one has played out, and we're going to show you the trade setup that we had for that as well. Okay, so let's go to our trade setups. You'll see now what the forecast was. Remember, this was in July, beginning of July. Let's go to trade setups in our Slack group. So this is our Slack group, by the way. We've got channels for each and every pair that we analyze mostly during these webinars. So that is our trade setups. And this is oil. And this was the forecast. Check the date here. You can check the date. This was 20th of August. Now, this was when this one was about to play out. The oil attacks happened last week. Who knew in August that there were going to be attacks on the Saudi oil fields? Because after that, we got this to correct like this, giving us a structure like this, and then we pushed up with a move to this level. Now, who knew a couple of weeks back or 2 months back that this was going to happen? Now, if I'm a magician, then I would call myself one, because this is what we saw oil to do a couple of months back without knowing what was going to happen. Now, what has happened after that? We've got this move to the downside. We are getting a corrective structure. This is where we are right now with oil. Now, when this was happening, when the oil was skyrocketing here with the news, that when you had the spike, everybody was screaming and shouting that oil was going to was going north, and it was going to reach the all-time highs. But look what has happened. The spike because of the news, and we're coming down because of the now apparent calm after the attacks, and oil is going lower again. Now, nobody would have known these prior. So this is why I trade fundamentals using the technical charts. That's all I look at. I would not have known a couple of weeks back that there was going to be attacks on the Saudi oil fields. All I have information on is the technical charts, and this is exactly how this plays out. Now, if you just go to the live chart now, the current price chart on oil, you'll see that all those moves that we're talking about have happened. So we had this one here. This was the first one that I showed you that we wanted to break down here, which it did. And after this pulsing move, I posted that we are looking for this to correct. It corrected in this fashion, right? And after correcting like that, this is what we got now. Let's mark that corrective structure clearly. We got this as a running flat here, like this. So this was why I was skeptical that it may go down, because this looked very corrective and looked downside here. But after the news, this is what you got. Pushed up higher as expected. Now we're coming down. Now we're correcting again. May correct a little bit deeper, but we're still looking for oil to come down here. So it is still going sideways. So it doesn't matter what news come. The trading chart, the technical charts will always be ahead, because this is driven by the market psychology. Right, so I hope that answers the question that most of you have about fundamentals and how to trade fundamentals. So next time there are fundamentals and you ask me what I expect, I'm gonna I look at the charts and see what the charts are telling us. Right, so now let's go to some trades that we looked at. So these are some long-term trades. Also, a couple of weeks back, I did an analysis on the pound pairs showing that we are at critical levels now. Now, let's have a look at all the pound pairs and you look at that analysis. Let's start with pound chief. This is what you get in our group, in our Slack group. You also get long-term analysis on the charts. For example, your daily chart mostly you'll find pinned on each channel. Now, this is pound chief. If you go look at your chart, this is exactly what has happened. You've dropped here a couple of 100 pips. We are now around this level. We're looking for further upside. And this was forecasted in July. We had a move down and we've got a move up. This is on the daily. It's a couple of 100 pips. So from around 124 to about 178 on pound chief, we've got all of that move, and then we've got this one to the upside. Now we've got a trend. We're expecting to ride it to the upside, and this is the structure that we're looking for. Okay, so that is how you trade the Elliott Wave theory, and most people are still looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and just looking for double XYs without the levels as well. Now let's look at another one. Another one was pound US dollar. Now pound US dollar, let's have a look at pound US dollar on the pinned charts. If you look at this one, this on the weekly. I showed that we're gonna drop here. We have dropped. Yes, we did not reach this blue line. We dropped here and now we are here. We're pushing higher. What structure we are expecting? We're expecting this structure. Now I've got forecast for the next couple of years. You can see this line ends up to 2028. Obviously, we don't have enough data. A lot can still change around that up to that time. But for now, we've got enough information to tell us what the next immediate move is going to be. We've been selling this one here. Obviously, if you've been watching the videos, we only failed with the last move here, which reversed. Okay. But now we're still able to ride the trend because we understand how the market is going to move here. So this was pound chief. Sorry, pound US dollar. Pound CAD. Let's look at pound CAD as well. Now these are daily and weekly charts. Now if you look at pound CAD, so the daily chart, see it corrected here. We dropped to this level. It is also pushing higher like this. And we got all those moves because we understand the higher degree structure. Okay, we understand the higher degree structure. I don't just look at the chart on the daily and the weekly. We look at the charts from historical analysis as far back as 1953 because that gives you direction of the market. Now, if you don't have that data, you will not be able to focus this with confidence. Now we've got this. We're looking for upside. All right, so that's how we're looking at these charts. If we go back to trade setups, just one more. Trade setups. Just look at some of the trades that we're looking at now. Now this is Euro New Zealand. Expected this to drop to this level, which it has, but before that, it made this move. Actually dropped from here. We got a trade from here, which you will see here under trade setups. If I go look for that move, you'll see that one that has actually played fully. I showed that last week as well. This was the one. This was the one here, which has reached full target and has now reversed from there. Now it is almost here at the previous high. We're looking for it to break that top and go up and go higher. But we're going to do that with market analysis. Okay, and that is how we look at the markets. Now pound AUD, we're going to look at this as well. I was expecting that this is a three-wave move that is completed and we're going to drop all the way down here. But as you've seen, this is now done a structure like this. It looks like it's going to push higher. We're around these levels on pound AUD. So we're going to look at this and adjust the structure. All right, so that is how we trade, and that is what we do in our group, and that's the advantage that you have. You've got long-term charts, you've got daily webinars as well when you're in the group. So even if you're not attending the course, immediately you still have access to all of this in our group. Right, so let's get started with today's market analysis. As usual, we're going to start with the cryptos. Bitcoin. Now this is Bitcoin, which we expected to drop. Still on the daily, so you'll see just now where we expected Bitcoin to drop. Expected it to drop here. It has made this move, but it's reversed back up here to make this corrective structure. We are now in this move here. We're looking for this to continue with the move to the downside. Now, I've shown a number of patterns that have happened previously on Euro US dollar, and you can go and check this out. This was not the first time I did these patterns. You can go to 2018. I'm going to refer you to the video where to find the video that where we did these patterns. So let's first look at these patterns again and show you what we expect and how they work. Because even when we did this 2 years back, it worked beautifully. There's the weekly on Euro US dollar. Let's look at all these patterns. About 3 exactly similar patterns on Euro US dollar. So you've got a weekly pattern that does this 1, 2, 3 here. You've got a pullback in red. I've done this a couple of times. Some of you are already are even getting tired of this. So we've got that pullback and we've got this one. And after this blue, I expect the move to continue lower like this. Let's do this. We expect this to go lower. And that's what we have. That is the first move. Second one happened on the weekly, on the 4 hour. Now this is a different area, different position on the chart. You see this one here. What I did in 2017, I even took the bars pattern and did something like this here and extracted this chart. Now if you extract this chart and you come and place it here, you'll see that it fits exactly there, as if that has happened exactly at that point. Let's switch off there. Unfortunately, if I switch off, the bus pattern disappears as well. So let's move the bus pattern up here. So that's how the chart happens. A move down, a move up, a move down, a move up, purple down, purple up, and then goes all the way down. Okay, I should have done that on the weekly as well, but that's fine. Now the next area where this has happened, so let's just mark this one with annotation. Now this is not even the Elliott Wave theory, guys. I'm just looking at the pattern and you'll see the relationship with the Elliott Wave theory in just a moment. 1, 2, 3 down, pull back in red, purple down, purple up. What do we expect from there? We expect this to push lower. And as it pushes lower, it comes and makes a correction like that. Okay, so let's move away from that. We can switch this off, take this off. Let's take it off and go to another position. Now, another position is the latest one. Now, this is the one that you see on the video on March 25, 2018. You'll see that I have looked at this exact pattern, looking for this down move. The current down move that you see on the euro was based on this pattern. Now, we had already seen these patterns a number of times. I had already seen it 3 times previously. So in March 25, 2018, if you go to my videos, you'll find me doing this and showing that we've got a pullback in red. You've got a purple down, purple up, purple down, purple up, and then this one drops all the way lower. I'm going to try to take these videos so that when you're watching this, you can actually just click on it. It will be YouTube actually can tag the video video card on there, so I'll put it up there so you can just click on it. But the video where I did this was in 2018 March, more than a year and a half ago. This is the video. Let's just clean this up. Let's get my annotation here. So this is the video in 2018 showing this pattern to the upside. So if you can just go watch it for yourself, we don't have time to go through this, so you can go and watch that video yourself and see what we looked at there. It's exactly the patterns that we are looking at right now. Now, if I move the chart away, you see 1, 2, 3 different patterns that are exactly the same, that have happened in different positions on the same chart. Now, let's look at Bitcoin and what we're looking at. We forecasted this down move on Euro, this one, based on these patterns, even though structurally this one was showing us correction and upside, but we looked at these fractals and we said, no, this was going to come down, and it did. Now, let's look at Bitcoin. We're seeing the exact same pattern on Bitcoin, not oil, Bitcoin rather. The exact same pattern on Bitcoin. Let's get Bitcoin up. All right, so that's the Bitcoin chart on the 240. Let's make full screen there so you can have space. Now you tell me if this is not exactly the same chart here. Let's look at this Bitcoin chart. You see here you got 1, 2, 3. We haven't even started with the analysis, guys. We're just looking at this pattern. Pullback here in red, that's a 3-wave pullback. You saw that every time we got a red, it was a 3-wave pullback. So I'm just marking this purple. It's not an Elliott wave structure, guys. I'm just showing you the pattern now, how it moves, so you can see the difference. So after that, you get a move down in purple, you get a pullback. What do we expect after that? Remember, the move that you're expecting now has not happened as yet. And that move is this one. That move is this one. That move is this one. 1, 2, 3 have happened after the exact same pattern has played out. And I'm expecting that we're going to have the exact same move to happen here on Bitcoin like that. That is why last week you saw that 2 weeks back, you saw that we had a trade set up here for a sell at this position because we're expecting this down move. Okay, now let me move the chart away, the Bitcoin chart away from this. So you only have the annotation, which I did on the charts. So let's have a look here. Right, so that is the move that you're expecting now. Everything has happened here. Everything has happened here. This one has happened, but this move still has not happened. That is the move that we're expecting here on Bitcoin. Now, if you look at this, would you not say this came from the same chart, from the same position? Because it's exactly identical. Those are fractals. Now, let's go into the charts now, to the Bitcoin chart, and look at the relationship between this and the Elliott wave structure. Now, you've seen the pattern. What is the relationship between this and the Elliott wave pattern? So this is the relationship. You'll see that this is actually a 3-wave move to the downside, which you are looking at as W. 1, 2, 3 up, X, and what is happening now is going to be a Y. And that, as much as it's an Elliott wave structure, it is making a 3-wave move, and follows also that pattern. That is why we're expecting this to come all the way down. Yes, it came down here, it made a move up here, but that should not make anybody panic, because what has happened here simply is that it has made a running flat, and now we are looking for this one to keep dropping like that. Okay, so that's what we're expecting for the Y to complete, and our Y could be this move. The 3-wave move will be our Y. The 3-wave move here is your X. The 3-wave move here, and I'm taking it back here, backwards here, that's your WXY move. It's a simple 3-wave structure, and after that you expect this correction to have ended, unless it's going to give you another X for a Z. But for now, that is the immediate move that we are looking for on Bitcoin. So what will we be looking for? We're looking for sell setups. We're looking for sell setups up until we get to that point. Okay, how far will that go? Let's see if I have marked here. That's how far we will expect the pullback to happen on Bitcoin. Right, so you can start looking for those sell setups. I'm not going to go into details with the rest of the cryptos. I'm just going to show you the last, the immediate move that we expect in the lower time frame. But Bitcoin should mostly follow Bitcoin. All right, now let's look at Ethereum. Ethereum looks to have made a 3-wave move pullback here. I expect another corrective structure here for another move to the downside. This is coming down correctively the same way that Bitcoin is. So it's not coming aggressively, so it's not a reversal, it's coming down correctively. Okay, so nothing really much to trade there. That is Ethereum. And Litecoin also pulled back in 3 waves. This is a 3-wave pullback here. Expect a corrective structure here for one more move to the downside. Okay, that is Ethereum. And Litecoin, no, Ripple rather. Looking at Ripple, you can see that it has also made a clear 3-wave move. But Ripple, let's have a look at it in the higher degree as well. Let's look at Ripple as well. On the daily, now if you look at the Ripple, I've had this from the beginning, mid-August. I wanted this to come and break the low here, which has now happened. The low has been broken and we're expecting, I was expecting this to push higher. But it looks like we're going to have one more down before we get that move to the upside, because we've got this 3-wave move here, which looks like a zigzag, and now we're already getting these impulsive moves. Now, if you get a corrective structure on Ripple, look to go and retest the bottom here. And this should come down here with divergence and then push up higher from there after the correction ends. So should correlate with Bitcoin and move to the downside, complete the correction, and then upside after that. That is Ripple. Now let's look at the indices, S&P 500. And looking at the S&P 500, we are in wave 5. We are in wave 5 of the S&P 500. And we are looking for the last move here to end as a diagonal. This is the move that we're looking at on the S&P 500. We're looking at this to be a diagonal. Now, we've got the first move here, and you're looking for this one to be a diagonal. This is 1, this is 2. Now, this could be your 3. So remember, 3 should be a 3-wave move. Could be getting a 4, a 5, and from there, you should get a big pullback. So that is the structure that you're looking for. So this will go up correctively. Even if you pull back here, I'm not saying it's going to pull back exactly to this level. What you could get here in the lower degree is this. You could get this one to do this. And if it does that, then you get another entry for upside. But in a diagonal, it becomes emotionally draining because you don't get this impulsive move as fast as this one. So it goes up, it retraces, it goes up, it retraces, and that can be frustrating if you don't have patience. Okay, so that is what we're looking for in the S&P 500, and the structure is similar on the Dow and the NASDAQ as well. Let's look at both the NASDAQ and the Dow. Now you've got also here wave 5 in the NASDAQ playing out like that. We're looking for this to start a diagonal. We already started with a pulsing move here, and it looks like it's going to slow down here. 1, 2. This pullback 1. This could be a 3, 4, A5, and from there we'll expect a bit deeper pullback. Okay, so that is what this structure looks like here. Now, if you look at this one here, looks like we've got a bit of a corrective structure here. It may push back up for 1, but it should come back down in 3 waves. And if it comes down in 3 waves, it will be making way for the last wave 5 before we get the big drop here. That will be the corrective structure. Okay, so that is how we're looking at this one. Now, if you like labels, you can label this one as a 1, as a 2, as a 3, as a 4, and a 5. Now, we could be wrong here with the labeling, but we're still in a diagonal because your wave 3 could be this one. But this is just too impulsive to be a wave 4. That's why I'm expecting the wave 3 to be in 3 waves like that. Because if it's here, it looks impulsive. Nothing wrong with that in the diagonal. That's still allowed. Okay, but we'll be looking at this alternative. If it changes, then we go back to the first one here, where it can be 3, 4, 5, and we're starting with a deeper pullback from the current level. Now I'm cluttering it, but let's rather focus on the one alternative, because if you start making so many alternatives, it gets confusing. So we'll update this as it plays out in the next week as well. So that's your wave 5. That should be in red. That should be your wave 5. Okay, so that's the NASDAQ. The Dow is exactly the same as the S&P 500. So the Dow has also made a passing move here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're looking for this one as a 1 and a 2, and this one could be a wave 3 here. 4, 5, we get our diagonal. That's what we're expecting. We're expecting a diagonal. It's a wave 5. It cannot be in 3 waves. It has to be in 5 waves. So even a diagonal is also 5 waves. And that is what we're looking at. Right, so let's see how that plays out. So same here, you could get this small corrective structure to push for 1 before it comes down here. And this move to the downside should come back down in 3 waves, which will be giving an opportunity to go for the last wave 5 here. So let's see how this plays out. We'll adjust it as it goes. Now that is the Dow. Now the UK 100. Let's look at the UK 100. Now the UK 100, after making now this one is not a wave 5. This one is not a 5-wave structure. So let's switch this off here. This one has made a 5-wave structure here and correcting with this expanding flat. Now we're looking at this expanding flat. After this expanding flat, we got the pulse move to the upside. We're looking for this to correct here. And this correction should be the pullback that you're getting in the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, and the Dow. Okay, so when that happens, we should get continuation to the upside. So wait for this corrective structure here. That's the UK 100 and the DAX. DAX also the same, also making an expanding flat as the UK. You've got a pulsing move up here. You've got this one making this expanding flat. Now you've got a pulsing move 1, 2, 3, 4. This one can push up for 1 here and make a pullback here and push higher like that. Okay, so that is what you have here on the DAX. The DAX is very clear. Let me remove this one here. And what you see here, I want to show this 5-wave structure. When there's a 5-wave structure, we'll identify it. This is 1, 2, 3. We're currently in wave 4. We'll expect 1 up here. Okay, before we get any corrective structure, any deeper corrective structure. And that will be in the purple degree. Okay, it could be an extended wave 5, and that will be an ABC structure and not a WXY. Okay, so there's a difference between ABC and WXY, and that is something that we spend the whole day explaining in the course, because it's not as straightforward. Right, so that's what we have. Looking for continuation pattern. Even if it's just 1 push to the upside, we should come back to the corrective structure. That is the DAX. Now the NIFTY. NIFTY also has a pulsing move. Why am I using pink here? Let's go back to the yellow. You also get a pulsing move in 3 waves with a running flat here in the middle. Let me draw it cleanly. You've got a pulsing move, correction here. That is a running flat, and then a pulsing move. So that makes it a 3-wave move. Now you've got a pulsing move back, correction, and a pulsing move down. Now that also makes this one an ABC structure and not a WXY. And now we're pushing higher after that. That is your structure. You can call it a zigzag. You've already made this pulsing move 1, 2, 3. You'll need a 4. You need a 5, and that will be a W. Rather, that will be a. This actually will not be a 3-wave move. It would rather be a diagonal. Think of marked it as a diagonal. Let's show the labeling here. That should be a diagonal because this is impulsive. This is impulsive, so you'll have this one as a diagonal. As a diagonal. Okay, so that is an ABC structure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that will complete that structure. So a bit of a pull back here and a push higher. It's a corrective structure that you're waiting for there. That is the NIKKEI. Lastly, the NIFTY. NIFTY, we're looking at these big corrective structure to be a way for. It could have been an expanding flat, now it's already running flat. Either one is acceptable because it complies with the rules and the regulation. You've got this one coming down here. As it was coming down, we were looking at this to be an expanding flat. Now we're looking for this one to push higher. Then it has completed the running flat, and we're looking for this to push higher. So that is your running flat there. That's the running flat. Okay, correction here and more move to the upside. Right, so that's the cryptos and the indices. Now we can go into the major pairs. Let's go into the major pairs. Now the euro is tricky together with pound US dollar right now. Okay, so we have been looking at this to be making a diagonal. So the video that just showed you 25 March 2018, you'll see forecast of this to break down lower with this big move up to this level, up to the 61 of this whole move. Now that has now dropped in 1, 2, 3, 4, and we've been looking at this to be a diagonal. Now we're still expecting this one to do this, correct, and push up higher. Structurally right now, when you look at this with the naked eye, let's go for hour, it looks like it wants to make one move to the downside. Now if it makes a move to the downside, that will change the structure, and we're going to have to adjust the whole analysis on this. And then we'll look at the number of alternatives that are happening there. Now this has made a regular flat there. Now this could make the structure like this. Let me use a different color there. This one can make a structure like this. 1, 2, 3. Now you can get another structure here in the purple degree, and that could start that move that we have been expecting. Now, as much as we're expecting that big move, that move can start coming up correctively. It starts with the W, the X here, with the Y there, okay? And then after that, you start getting something like this, the higher degree, WX, WY. And before you know it, that corrective structure has completed that big correction that we've been looking for, just like this. And it does this here. So this is just a forecast, guys. Let's see how this one plays out, and you get something like this. But when this corrective structure is completed, remember it would have completed that big move. You'd have done this. You'll be looking for this big move again to the downside. But now you are not here, you are here, and the next immediate move could be a continuation lower and a pushback up as it completes these moves here. So let's keep an eye on the euro. It's not clear, there's no clear buy set up there, so I would not be interested in the buy regardless of what the structure looks like here. May still not be complete, right? So stay away from that one for now. Let's look at pound US dollar. Now pound US dollar has made a move, a single up move from this level. Now this could be a diagonal, and if it is a diagonal and it has completed, you'll be looking for a pullback in 3 waves, which should propel it up. Now any move that you'll see on the pound pair to the downside will not be a reversal, but rather a corrective structure that you will need to wait for to complete for further move to the upside. Right now you don't have a buy setup. If you did not take it from this level here, we saw that part was going to push higher from this level when it made this corrective structure. Because from here, I was still expecting this to come down to the blue line. Missed the blue line by a couple of pips. That meant I missed this first move. So that's fine. We've missed a lot of the first moves, but we always get the high probable move. Now you're not even trying to pick the bottom, because if you get a corrective structure here, all you're looking for is this trade. Also make note and manage the trades, because this one can make a structure like this before pushing higher. So you might try to buy it here and then it comes down, and you might try to buy it here and it makes you another W, X, Y, X, Z. But we know how to manage this and how to look at the corrective structure when you're trying to get the move to the upside. So that's what you're going to be looking for. Pullback. I'm going the 4 hour now. US dollar CAD. I showed you US dollar CAD last week, how we forecasted 1, 2, 3, and this move, which we actually traded. We're currently in a trade on US dollar CAD. We're looking for this to push higher. Where are we now? We are in this corrective structure. Let's switch off here because this is showing where we entered. Now there is a gap here that happened in the first few trading hours of the last week. So we'll look at that as a corrective structure to do this. But if it goes too deep, this may not go all the way up here. It may be a bit shallower. But let's see how this one goes. If I'll actually have a trade set up on US dollar CAD from the bottom, right at the bottom. Let's see if we can find it quickly on our trade setups. I'm just trying to look for that pair, pound Audi. Should be right at the bottom. See if we can find it quick. It's the trade. That is the entry. And you're still holding this one. Still holding this one. It has confirmed, broke above here. Stop loss, put in there. You can see how small our stop is. That's based on the strategy that we use. So we are here now. It's busy making a corrective structure again. So we'll see how we'll figure this corrective structure again the very same way that we've figured out this big one for continuation to the upside. So let's go back to the chart and go to the lower time frame on the 1 hour. You must watch last week's video to see how we dissected this one, and it played out exactly as we analyzed. 4 moves forecasted on this one, but 1 traded, which is this current move. Now I want to show you another question that most have. How do you trade gaps? For me, gaps are part of the market structure. So it's part of price structure. The price has reached this level and price has made an impulse to this level. We are assuming an impulse based on the structure. Sometimes that gap can be in 3 waves, but you just won't know because it's in a gap. Now this will be a 3-wave move to the upside, and we're looking for this one to drop here and make a structure like this. It may make a running flat. It does not have to come back here and make an expanding flat, because if it makes an expanding flat, this one will not go much higher. So I prefer for this one to just come slightly down here, make this move, running flat, and push higher. Let's see how that plays out. So you've got this one here, should drop slightly and push higher. Even if you've got a gap here as a 1, 2, 3 and a move up. That's what you're looking for here. That's what you're looking to happen. That's the trade that we're in, still holding on to it. Right, that is US dollar CAD. US dollar CHF, I've got a new trade on this one. I'm expecting this one to drop from current levels. You've got this here as a regular flat. Now we already have a pulsing move here. If you get another corrective structure, this will drop. Now if this drops, that means your euro is going to continue with a move to the upside as we're expecting. If we go to the higher time frame on this one, let's see if we can see it on the daily. Let's go daily. On the daily, you've got a bigger structure here, regular flat. You're looking for this one. If you get a trade here, that trade should be big and back to these levels, because that's the structure we're looking for. We're looking for a 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 down. Now, this is the structure. Wait for this corrective structure. It should take you all the way down there. Now, if euro US dollar is not clear, US dollar CHF is very clear, and you can actually trade euro US dollar based on what US dollar CHF is doing. Audi US dollar. Now, Audi US dollar, I expected it to make a bigger move to the upside to go and make the structure based on the weekly chart that we have. But it looks like it's still going to make one more move to the downside based on this expanding flat here. Actually, a regular flat. Now, it's dropping with this. You're going to need to get a corrective structure here to at least come and break the previous low here. It will not go much further than this, but if you get a pullback here, your target will be around this area. We will still expect this to come back up here. The structure in the higher degree is not yet invalidated, and we've got this one on the higher degree structures. Let's look at AUD US dollar on the channel, just so you can see the higher degree structure on this. Let me see if I've got a pin chart on this. And see if I've got a pin chart on this one. I can't find the pin chart on this one. I think it's on trade setups, but that's okay. We'll just look at it right here. Sorry guys, I don't have it here, but the weekly chart looks like this on AUD US dollar. The weekly on our AUD US dollar looks like this. I'm still expecting this to push higher. It may, even if it has broken now, this structure here, and that's what they always do. So everybody will be expecting this to reverse from there, but they'll push it one more before it actually comes back up here. Okay, and that is the structure that we're looking for. So if that pushes back up to that level, it does not have to go up there, but it's possible. But first, we are going to expect this for continuation to the downside. And we will see that when we get to this level, but for now, we want to trade this up move on the weekly. Yes, we are still on the downtrend for now. We can come back for one and make this structure. And this structure will be exactly the same as this one here, as you can see. And then we look for this to continue down, and that will be a complete WXY, WXY. Otherwise, this will be a bigger structure with a pattern here in the middle, and that will be a different one. But we will still be able to trade upside up to this level, and we'll see if it's going to continue higher. So what do we do now with the AUD? You can trade it down for now to complete the last move to the downside. So this last move should come with divergence. It should come with divergence. You've got that right in the blue box, looking for continuation pattern to the downside. Be careful when you come down here, you should see possible divergence on the RSI, and this one should reverse. All right, the New Zealand will be the same. Looking for a move to the downside, back to this level. Just look for a pullback there. USDZAR. Ramsey is asking what platform you use, because my MT4 don't give a lot of old data. There's a platform you can use, it's called FXTop for all data, historical data. You can use, look at FXTop. There's a number of sites that give historical data. All right, so that is a US dollar South African rand. Now this one, I may have to change the labeling here. So this is a ABC structure. Now this is no longer a three-wave structure. So this is going to change slightly. So we can switch this off here. Doesn't change the structure. You've got this as a 1, 2, 3 down. Let me mark these corrective structures cleanly. You've got this running flat here. You've got this expanding flat there. Now this came down in 3 waves, 1, 2, 3, ABC. Now you've got here, this looks like it's fired 3 waves now. 3 waves there. Looks like we're gonna have 3 waves there. WXY. So we'll look for the South African rand to go and retest the 1570 area. When this was coming down here, I thought this was actually, this move has actually completed to the downside, and we're gonna have the structure like this. I'm gonna show both alternatives because that can still happen. Okay, for now, this could be the move. But if this is WXY and it has completed here, then this one can make a structure like this and we continue lower. with another possible ABC or WXY. And the whole thing will be, this is forecasting now, WXY. But we've got only enough data to tell us what's going to happen now. There's a possibility that this is going to push higher and break the top. Let's see how this goes on. Or this one comes down here, makes a structure like this. If this happens, then we're getting to 1300. If we get a corrective structure here, 1570. So we need to look at both of those alternatives there. Let's look at the yen pairs, starting with pound yen. Now pound yen, like most of the pound pairs, we're starting with a 5-wave move here to the upside. This is a correction, it's not a reversal that you see here. So this will go sideways or can make a 3-wave pullback. We'll still expect a move to the upside and a deeper pullback. So what do you do in the meantime? You look for corrective structure at current levels to ride the trend. Now this corrective structure may just be doing this. Could be an expanding flat that does this and then you push higher for the 5th wave. Watch it. You will only have a buy setup once you get a pulsing move and a correction. US dollar yen also looks like it's making this corrective structure. 1, 2, 3. I don't think this is a reversal. Expecting a push higher. So here what you have is a 1, 2. You've got a nest here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this one should make another 4 and a 5 in this degree. 4 and a 5. 4 and a 5. So even if this starts pushing up higher, we're still going to get a deeper corrective structure. That will be 1, 2, 3, and a 4, and a 5. And internally here, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Okay? Higher degree, 4 and a 5. So this is higher degree. Even though it looks like it's in the same degree, this is higher degree than the red. This is higher degree than the red. Okay, and that's the US dollar JPY structure. Correcting, we look for further upside. We're still on the trade on this one from these levels. Okay, still a couple of 100 pips up. This is the trade on US dollar JPY. US dollar JPY, you'll see the trade on trade setups here. We're already in this one. It's going very well. This is the one here. So you took it from right at the bottom. It is now around this 108 area. It was busy correcting here. We're looking for one more move to the upside. All right, so that's US dollar JPY, Euro. Euro, I've got a trade set up for downside. This is an expanding flat. It's a 1, 2, 3. Now we're looking for this one to drop. You'll see I also have a trade set up for this one, where I'm expecting that after this 3-wave move to the upside, I should have an impulse correction and a move to the downside. And this is the setup on EURJPY. Unfortunately, you guys don't know how to. You don't know our strategy, our entry strategy. So this is it. Yes, it has made a 1, 1, 2, 3 there, and a push higher. So the expectation is that we're going to get this to come down, which is already done. Now we're just looking for this correction so we can take it down. Now it may not go down straight like that. It may come 3 waves down, 3 waves up before it comes down for this move. But that's fine. But we're not going to leave this move just because this possibility. We're going to take the trade anyway, and we're going to manage it so we don't lose if it comes and retests the top there. Nice one there. So that is EURJPY. CHFJPY has got a similar structure. It's got a 3-wave up. We've got a 3-wave up here. 1, 2, 3. We're coming down here. It came down with 3 waves in a pulsing move. It's making another 3 waves here. Let's see if it's going to push slightly up and then down. This one has got no sell setup here. So this pullback may just be all the correction. So let's see what we get from this. Because if this is a three-wave pullback, we should be getting upside here, 1, 2, 3. To come retest this. We'll see how that goes. So if the euro and US dollar chief is coming down, this one will push a little bit higher. As Chief JPY, Audi yen, like all the Audi pairs, take the pullbacks. I was expecting that this would be a wave 4 and a 5. You can see that that has failed. Now we're looking for this whole thing to be a corrective structure. It's 5 waves there, expect a deeper corrective structure. If you get a corrective structure there, you're trading another move similar to that in length. New Zealand will be the same, also making it downside. This one was much deeper last week, which indicated that AUDJPY was going to follow. Pullbacks, you're trading them up until that level. Don't rush it. Go and go buy, sell this at market open. This is like catching a falling knife. So wait for this to do that. Your target being here, and check that you've got a good risk to reward ratio. Your risk to reward ratio must be good. You don't just take it like that. Ed, it's coming down correctively. Let's see if we're going to get something like this and another push to the downside. Silver and gold, let's start with gold. Now gold has made a pulsing move to the downside after making the all-time highs here. Now we're looking at this to be a corrective structure like this, and look for this to continue with the move to the downside like that. So slight push to the upside. So W, X, so Y. So this one needs to push higher a little bit. You've got A, B, C within this one here in the lower degree, A, B, and C. Let's clean it up. And that's what we have on gold. Expect a slight push to the upside. Touch, break on the top, should come back down here. That's short-term analysis on gold and silver. Silver long-term, we still need to go to about 22. We've got this move, got this corrective structure here. That could push this lower. And even if that goes lower, we should push up higher for one more to around the 22 area. Let's go to the daily. All right, that is silver. Silver, we still expect one more move to the upside. I want silver to come back to this level. So as much as it's pulling back here, we may be correcting here. Should just be making 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. This possibly be my break here. So let's see how this one is going to go, because that's my expectation for it to go and take that blue line there. Okay. Waiting for a new entry on silver and gold. Let's run through the pound pairs. Pound pairs, I've shown all of them. I've already shown you a daily view on pound chief, where I showed from here coming down here that you're going to have a move to the upside. Now you're looking for this to pull back and ride this to the upside. Now you're going to need patience, guys. You're going to need patience in the next couple of trading sessions, because these corrections may take a couple of sessions before they complete. Let's go to the 4-hour. These are the corrective structures. So if this is a 3-wave move to the downside, there's a possibility that you get another 3-wave move here, and you get another 3-wave move here that makes a WXY structure. This is just forecasting, but I'm expecting a corrective structure here that will propel us to the upside. I'm not just going to sell here or buy here without a proper corrective structure, because without that, I don't know what the direction is going to be and what the target is going to be. Now you need a pullback and then a push higher. That is pound chief, and like all the other pound pairs now, that's the structure that you're looking at now. Pound, Audi. Pound Audi has got two alternatives. If you look at it on the 4-hour like this, it looks like a 3-wave corrective structure. We first looked at it to have done this move and expected that it was going to drop Yes, we only got that and then pushed up high again. Now that changed the structure to have a running flat here in the middle. Now, is this the complete running flat if we're going to push slightly higher and then we drop from there? Or is this going to go and retest the top? Now, if it retests the top, remember the pound AUD structure on the daily will be slightly adjusted. This is what you have on the daily. Take a screenshot. Let's go full screen here. We've got this on the daily. Our W in blue, WXY in blue. So just follow the blue degree. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. That completes the Z, and we expect a big move from there. Now, if that is our big move that has started, that means this is our first move, this is our correction, and we're going to continue with the move to the downside. Now, there's a likelihood that this may actually be a three-wave move that will go and test the top there. Now, if that is the case, now the structure would need to be adjusted slightly, because now this will be like this. See if we can do this quickly. Let's switch it off. Let's go back here. If this keeps pushing higher with the rest of the pound pairs, because they're strong now, this will be the structure. This will be your W, this will be your X, this will be your Y. Y, X, Z. 3 waves there. I won't do it with the trading view annotation. It's going to take too much time. Pull back. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So there's a possibility for pound AUD to go and make this move. Now that will be a clear W, X, Y, X, Z structure, 11 swing sequence, which if we start getting corrective structure here on the daily, we are going to break the top before we come down. Now you can see that after Brexit 2016, since Brexit, we have been in a corrective structure. And that's because the Brexit move was big. And this explains the Elliott wave structure. The deeper or the bigger the move, the deeper the corrective structure. So look at this one, 2 whole years in correction. You're looking for this W, X, Y, X, Z, 11 swing sequence. And eventually you're looking for this 2,500 pips to the downside. So keep an eye on this one. Let's see if we get a corrective structure here, or let's see if this is a 3-wave structure that is completed. Unfortunately, you won't know beforehand. But because the pound pairs are looking upside, I expect pound AUD to follow suit. Pound New Zealand, I spent a lot of time trying to figure this one out. But it's a little bit complex. It looked easy before we got this move to the upside. Looked straightforward, but this one has changed slightly, and this is the structure. That is the structure. You can take a screenshot and go work on it. I'm not so interested in the labeling. So this is the W, this is the X running flat there, and you're looking for a Y to be a 3-wave move. Now, if we're looking at this to be go lower degree, this is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's switch everything off, and that will be your corrective structure. That will be your W, that will be your X, that will be your Y. So if pound New Zealand also keeps pushing higher, that's fine. Structurally, we can explain why it's pushing higher, and that will be this move. Also, has been correcting since Brexit in 16. That's the structure that you have. Right, pound New Zealand, expect any corrective pullback here, you're pushing higher. Pound CAD, we already looked at this one. Also has made a passing move, expect a pullback. Pullback and continuation pattern to the upside. So you are not selling the pound, you're buying the pound. Euro pound. Now we're done with the pound pairs. Now we can look at euro pound. Euro pound, because you're expecting correction on the pound pairs for a further upside, euro pound has got a pound as a quoted pair. So any correction here should propel euro pound down, and the rest of the pound pairs should be propelled to the upside. Okay, that's the structure that you have. On euro pound, we had a trade from here. It has reached target from right here. That's the structure on euro pound, EURCHF. Now EURCHF is slightly different because it looks like it wants to make one more move to the downside, the same way that euro does. So let's have a look at this one on the 4-hour. Now on the 4 hour, you've got a clear 5-wave structure from the bottom of the impulse like this. Now, if you've got a clear 3-wave structure like this and a new pulsing move to the downside, any corrective structure here, you sell it. It could come back here and retest this. Even if it does this, that's fine. But the expectation will be for this to come down here. We still want EURCHF to come down to the blue box. It has not reached the blue box as yet. It's still missing the blue box at around that area. So we'll be looking for this one to do this so we can go into the blue box, and that's our target. Euro New Zealand. Now Euro New Zealand, after the expanding flat, initially we were looking for this to go all the way down. We got the 700 pips here out of the 1,000 that we wanted, but then it kept pushing higher. That changed the outlook on this. That's why we traded this one to the downside to come to this level. And now we've been looking at this one to be pushing higher from the last couple of weeks. Now this one should break the top and continue higher. Then we should get a deeper corrective structure for further upside. Euro Audi, same. Now Euro Audi is very clear. Before it was not so clear, we were only trading Euro Audi based on Euro New Zealand structure. Now Euro New Zealand is this structure: 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then upside. Let's switch everything off here. So that's the structure that we typically expect on Euro Audi. So if you don't get 5 waves here, we're going to label it differently. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and that will be a WXY structure. You already have an impulse here, the same way that you have on Euro New Zealand. You already have this. Now you're waiting for this one. Any pullback here, you take it higher. Okay, you take it higher. Now here you would have WXY. No, rather. No. This would be ABC. A, B, C. A, B, C. Okay, that's the structure, and we're looking for upside on Euro Audi and Euro New Zealand. EURCHF. Looking for upside. Even though this has made an impulsive move here, this current correction could be just a sideways regular flat, like a 3-wave move down, 3-wave move up, and a 3-wave move down like this, and should propel us continuously to the upside. It's EURCHF. Let's look at some of the cross pairs. AUDJPY. All the Audi pairs you're looking for downside. Pullbacks, sell. Okay. Which one else now? Let's look at Audi New Zealand. Audi New Zealand, you've got a 3-wave move here that pushed an impulsive move up here. So Audi New Zealand should continue higher. Any correction here should continue higher. And CADJPY, if this is going to come down, a nice structure for this will be a 1, 2, 3 down here and a move here. Then we'll look for this to come down. Right, so that is CADJPY. So we'll be looking for this one to slightly come to the previous low and push higher and then come down. All right, Audi CAD, all the Audi pairs you're selling. You're selling this one after it made this expanding flat. So pullbacks in 3 waves or flags, you sell. You won't lose money selling the Audi in the next couple of sessions. New Zealand CAD coming down. Daily. Daily on New Zealand CAD, you're looking for this one to drop back to this level. We're very close. And from that level, even if you break it slightly, we'll expect this to push back higher. So watch this as it approaches this level, guys. We should be looking for further upside on this one. New upside, trend reversal of this. Okay, because that is a clear 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 down, breaks the low and pushes higher, and that will be a WXY correction. WXY like that, and then we'll expect this to push slightly lower and then push higher. Keep an eye on the reversal here. All right. New Zealand Chief, you've got this to come down here, wait for a corrective structure, break below the low, something like this, slow continuation to the downside. Oil, we've already looked at oil during trade recaps. It's simple, that's the structure that you have here on the daily. You've got this one here, you've got this one here. Let's do this with a different color. This we've identified from right at the top here. 1, 2, 3 up, and now you're looking for this one to come down in this fashion, and that will be your A, B, C structure. We will come back up again, but overall this is just a sideways move on oil. So you're looking for this one to drop below this. You already have a pulsing move to the downside and a correction. That's confirming that we're going to get this move. That's the structure that you'll be looking for. On the 4 hour, let's just look at that move on the 4 hour. It already has a pulsing move, already has a corrective structure, and you'll be looking for this to come down. And that's all I had for you this week, guys. Good luck trading in the next week. Have a great one. Trade responsibly. Please don't forget to drop a like and subscribe to the channel so you can get a notification next time I post the video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for attending. Have a great one. Cheers. Bye-bye.